All right, we are live. What is up, everybody? Hope you're doing good on this Christmas Eve. Missed a bunch of stories. Had the flu, all that good stuff. But we're back. We're ready to roll now. So one of the stories I missed was the excuse me, paint jobs or the body wraps or whatever you want to call them. How teams are skewing them even harder and harder to beat the Eagle Eye system or the Hawkeye system. I can't remember. Is it Hawkeye? Hawkeye system to sort of just get every advantage they can get. So that's something that's been going on for a little while, but they're getting more and more aggressive with it. And I guess the other story is I don't know, not necessarily a big story to me, but imagine that people that work on race cars are burnt out. So I don't know. That's been going on for the longest time too, and they're underpaid. That's been going on for the longest time too. Don't get me wrong. People are paid super well. Some people are not. Yeah, all that stuff's been going on for the longest. But I don't know. I guess because it's the off season, we had to have something to talk about. So I guess it's getting talked about now. But all right, we will jump into the chat and see what you guys want to talk about. As you can hear, the voice is not 100% back, but hopefully it holds out for this one. We got the I got a cup full of like Halls and peppermints and stuff like that. Just dropped one. Oh well, we'll let it ride. But yeah, we'll get it through here and see what you guys want to talk about. Bumblebee, what's up? Saying woo, let's go. Merry Christmas to Timber. So yeah, Merry Christmas to all y'all as well. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals, says Glock. What's up, Glock? Good to see you on here, my friend. Hey people, says Bumblebee. First last with a little celebratory emoji. What's up, first last? Bumblebee with the Christmas emojis there. I hate to say it, but this may be the start of something big for Bologna Burger. He may need an agent. Says Bumblebee. I don't know. We'll have to see. Hey y'all. Says Say Kyle. Dev Finch saying what's up to everybody and Merry Christmas from Cody and Shy. 10-second rule on the peppermint. It's still in the wrapper, so we're good. It was actually a Halls. I dropped the Halls. Still got all the peppermints in here, and still got a couple Halls in there. Munching on a Halls right now. This is the honey based Halls. And we also got if it gets super bad, we got the Fisherman's Friends. Those are emergency only though. Try to not to eat because they taste terrible, but they definitely work. Let's see. That was a Charlie Brown Christmas reference, by the way. This is going to be okay. Haven't seen Charlie Brown in a hot minute, so I need to rewatch that one. Did not get the reference, but nothing new. Yeah, we'll jump into whatever you guys want to talk about, or I can just pull up some NASCAR news, see what else is going on, so I can do that as well. Looking at NASCAR's longest active winless streak, and it's a picture of Brad Keselowski, it looks like. Streaks. So number one, it looks like it's going to be, or not, I don't know if it's number one. Let me see how they're doing this here. Yeah, number one is going to be Justin Haley at 105 races. So didn't even have him on my radar because I keep forgetting about the rain-soaked race that he won. So he's up there. Merry Christmas, BB, and everyone from Logano Bunker in White Oak, North Carolina. What's up, Rodney Collier? Merry Christmas to you as well, my friend. BB, do you think Haley finishes better than 25th in points next year with Rick Ware Racing? It's so hard to say. So Rick Ware Racing and Spire, I think they've got some good drivers. How good they become next season is going to just be. I think Spire has a better chance because I feel like they're going to get direct information from Trackhouse. So I think they'll be raised up pretty quick. I don't know about Rick Ware Racing. I don't know how tight their alliance with Roush is going to be. But I have to imagine with drivers that they're lining up over there that they are going to have a pretty tight alliance. And I think they're going to be good. I just don't know how good they're going to be. Top 25. I don't know, man. Justin Haley, I could see Justin Haley finishing in the top 20. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go over. Yeah, I'm going to go on the over. So yeah, I do think he'll be above 25th. I will give him above 25th. SVG predictions for 2024 says Dirty Def. Let's see. I think in Xfinity he'll make the playoffs. I don't know how deep into the playoffs he'll run, but I think he'll be. I think he'll make a playoff run in Xfinity. I would put it at about. I think he's going to win at least 2 races. At least 2 races, more than 2 races, I'll say. So over 2 races, I'll go over 2 races. One in the Xfinity Series for SVG next season. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope your voice hangs out in peace. Says William. Yeah, I hope it holds in here too. It's touch and go, but we're gonna keep rolling as long as it's here. Haley's race win wasn't rain soaked; it was dry as a bone. Lightning followed him to steal it from Byron. That's right, it was lightning because what was that? Kurt Busch pulled in. Kurt Busch pulled in 1 lap early. It was the most insane thing of all time. But a win's a win. I'm not taking anything away from him. As echoed, a win's a win. As echoed by Bumblebee. So you were thinking the same thing I was thinking there, B. So for sure. But yeah, he stands at 105. So we'll see who's next on the list here. Who was next on the list? Brad Keselowski at 98 races. 98 races since Brad Keselowski has won. That feels like what, 3 seasons almost. I want to say. So that's a bad streak for bad Brad. But hopefully he can break it this season. He was super close last year, so we'll have to see. Are you hearing anything on the short track package? I know what Hamlin said on the podcast. I think they're going to keep to. They obviously couldn't find the right ratio because they scrapped that with the transaxle. But it seems that they're going to go the route of more tire fall off. And I'm hoping they don't do anything with the aero. And here's my thoughts with that. No matter what they found with the aero there, if they take away downforce, it's going to hurt the tire fall off. Because if you think about it, where's the car? Oh, here we go. If you think about it, the car with less downforce is riding. Think about it riding higher up like that. The car with more downforce is being squashed into the ground, and so the centrifugal force is trying to push it that way through the turns. That creates more tire fall off. The more downforce you have, it's going to create more tire fall off. So if they're taking downforce away and they're adding more tire fall off with the tire itself, and they take the downforce away, it's going to sort of like cross each other out. So hopefully they think about that. And I don't know. I don't know. They just need to add more horsepower. I don't know why. I have a pretty good idea that it might be manufacturer based. I'm not stupid, but I'm going to keep saying I don't know what it is until NASCAR actually comes out and says something about it. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Howdy from the North Pole. What's up, Robin Marks? What's up, North Pole? What's up, Canada? Is Hamlin's brother the Grinch? Says William Wagaman. I don't know. I have no idea. I agree, a win is a win, but I'll forever be salty at Haley and Daytona and Menard and in Indy for taking a W from the 24. Says say Kyle, yeah, I know what you mean. I was like that for a long time with Dale Jarrett for taking the win from Senior in the Daytona 500, and I want to say 92 maybe. I'm not super great with dates unless they're sitting in front of me. Crazy that Haley is embarrassed about it, says Dirty Def. I wouldn't be embarrassed about it, dude. That I would carry that trophy with me in my car. Like I would make sure everybody knew that I won a Cup Series race. I would no. I mean, he might be. I would never be embarrassed about that. I'd be like, however you got to win them, and you never know when the last one's coming. At least then he called out, and man, and the people that think he's not a good driver, just go watch the end of that Chicago race. He did everything he could to hold SVG back there. At least then he called out the horsepower bullcrap, says Robin Marks. Yeah, I was super proud of Denny Hamlin for doing that because, like, I've been screaming it, but they don't care about me. I'm just some dude on YouTube. I've been screaming it from the top of my lungs. It's like they keep contradicting themselves about the horsepower costing more money. And it's just not. Like, you take the tapered spacer off would be the easiest thing to do, which is what Denny Hamlin mentioned. And the internals, it doesn't hurt them anymore. You can still, according to the engine builders at RCR, you can still run those engines just as far, just as many races with the taper spacer off as you can with it on. So I don't see that being an argument either. So a lot of people brought that up, and I guess they didn't see where the RCR guy said it doesn't affect it one way or the other. Thoughts on the new Toyota look? I personally think it's ugly. Says Say Kyle, it does not look great. I'll give you that. But I'll tell you what it does look like. It looks like some of those Gen 4 cars, maybe. It's got like that bullet shape to it. It looks fast. It looks fast. It doesn't look pretty, but it definitely looks fast, I think. And it's definitely going to be able to push at the super speedways. Let's see. Robin, Denny still sucks. Says Mark Barnum. Agree. Insane to be embarrassed. Someone is going to win under the circumstances. I'd always rather be the one winning, even lightning, rain, or whatever. LOL. Yeah, like I agree 100%. I'd rather be lucky than good every day of the week. I'll tell you that right now. William Wagaman, Toyota should race their new car backwards. It would probably be more aerodynamic. Says William Wagaman. Chrome Diesel says that's actually one interesting thing. I remember when the new Camaro came out, when they first came out with that, and everybody was like, "Oh, that thing looks mean. It looks aggressive," and it was super slow. Austin Dillon and Chase Elliott were the only dudes that could win in it that first year of the Camaro, or when they brought the Camaro back. And then, so it's interesting because you're kind of seeing the same thing. Everybody's like, "Oh, that Ford looks super aggressive. It looks fast. It looks badass." And then you're looking at the Toyota. I was like, "That Toyota's butt ugly." It's going to be very interesting if that butt ugly Toyota is super fast and that Mustang doesn't have the same speed. You're going to see people throwing fits and being like, "Oh, Toyota just built them a race car." Like you heard that back in the day with that super ugly Ford Taurus. That they basically built a race car. Ford finally admitted it. They came out, or they got caught at least. They built a race car, and that's why that Ford Taurus looked the way it looked, which was I'm talking about the '98 Ford Taurus, if I'm not mistaken. It was butt ugly, but it got the job done. Maybe '96. I don't know when did it come out? '97, somewhere in there. Whenever they switched it over. Toyota, it's just right there. Hobby B, Merry Christmas. What's up, Chrome Diesel? Merry Christmas to you as well. I wouldn't be either. A win is a win. At least he's honest about it, says Dirty Dev. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I like the humbleness. I like the humbleness that he's embarrassed that his first win came that way. I do like that he's humble as far as that goes. But man, I would always be proud of it. I would never back away from the fact that I was winner. Are the manufacturers worried that the engines, especially with the car he was running, just the fact that he had that car in a position to be one of the people on the lead lap to get that win, because at that time that Spire car had no speed to it, so he was doing his job at a high level. He stayed on the lead lap, he stayed in the draft with a slower car, and he put himself in position for that Lightning to give him that W. Are the manufacturers worried that the engines will blow without the current tapered spacer? Says Shot. Nah, I don't think the manufacturer should be, because ECR, I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but he came out and said it's not going to affect anything. And I've seen there was another, who was the other engine builder? There was at least one other engine builder that came out and said that it doesn't matter. The engines will still hold up, because what they're doing right now, they're not really taxing the block. They're not taxing components to go to the nth degree that they can go to with them. They're building these engines to run 3 or 4 races. So nothing is super aggressive with these packages they've got. So if you take the spacer off, you put the spacer on, that's really not going to affect the longevity and the life of the components, according to these engine builders. Don't take my word for it. This is coming from RCR. I am thinking the new Ford front end is going to mess with the air and the new in interesting ways, says Shop. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which one of those. They might be dead even. There might be no advantage, but it's going to be interesting to see if one of those takes off with an advantage at the very beginning, and one of them doesn't, and what NASCAR does about that. And also, is NASCAR going to give any concessions to Chevrolet since they're running a 1,000-year-old front end? And what does Chevrolet come with in the next couple years to fight back against these newer Camrys and Mustangs? Say Kyle, Chevy will replace the Camaro with a VW Beetle, says Mark Barnum. Oh no, not the third bad guys from World War II car, says Say Kyle. So the People's car, I think, is what it was referred to. The Fiat, by the way, also a People's car, just so you know. The new Ford Mustang with the slanted nose reminds me of the 69 Forward Talladega, says William Wagaman. I'm not familiar with that one. Maybe that was a Torino or something. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the 69 Forward Talladega Mustang, maybe, or I don't know. Richie Gilmore was the head engine builder for ECR, RCR. You were thinking of, yeah. Thank you, Richie Gilmore. That's who said it. He said it's not going to affect the longevity of the engines or anything like that going forward. So hopefully NASCAR at least looks at it and figures it out. Because even if a new manufacturer comes in, it's going to be under a different engine package. So I don't think you're really losing anything there. Third on the list, we had Justin Haley and Brad Keselowski. This is off from motorsport.com, by the way. I forgot to mention that earlier. Third on the list at 71 races is going to be Austin Cindric. So Austin Cindric is the next one on that list there, and he definitely not sad about or embarrassed about his win. Let's see. Brian Biggs, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to Canada as well. Who's some guys you think will surprise us this year in Cup? I think Noah Gragson will be more focused. So I think he'll be one that surprises people. He surprises people every year, but he shouldn't. I think Eric Jones is going to surprise people because you saw what he did last year. Almost got a couple wins, or got really close to getting a win in a unmanufacturer based car. So I think Eric Jones is going to be another one I would keep a close eye on. Somebody over there at Spire is going to break out. I'm going to say it's going to be Carson Hocevar. So I'm big on Josephus. I think Josephus is going to surprise a lot of people. I think he'll be sort of like Ty Gibbs. The first half of the year, he'll sort of just be figuring it out, but then he'll go on a run, kind of like we saw Ty Gibbs go on a run and had a really strong rookie season, even though he didn't get a win. So I think Carson Hocevar will be another guy. Michael McDowell, they've always built. I thought that would be a big loss when Blake Harris went over there to be Alex Bowman's crew chief. But they Front Row Motorsports, they've still got the good people in place, so that didn't hurt them as bad as I thought it would hurt them. So Front Row Motorsports, I think they'll continue to surprise people. They've got two good drivers in Gilliland and McDowell. So I think this could be a year where they get closer and closer. And I want to say Rick Ware Racing might surprise some people this season just because that RFK Alliance, it looks like they're getting serious. They've got some serious drivers over there. They've got the RFK Alliance. I imagine that's going to get even tighter. So those will be the ones just off the top of my head that I think. The new Ford Mustang with the slanted nose reminds me of the 69 Forward Talladega. I just read that one. Noah Gragson will surprise no matter what happens, in my opinion, says Shop. LOL. So yeah, that could be true. He might surprise some people by running well, or he might surprise some people by not running well. So you never know. Who's your way too early championship pick for 2024? I'm making that video, so I'm not going to unveil that it's Kyle Larson for the 10th year in a row. So Kyle Larson until he's not doing Kyle Larson things anymore. Hocevar is no matter how he does it, but I am making that video. Just on the real, I am making that video. Was working on it before I got sick, still working on it, and it's still only going to be 5 minutes. So all this effort, and it's only going to be probably about 5 minutes. So let's see, Hocevar or more. Hocevar is another, no matter how he does, he will surprise. Hocevar is Rookie of the Year, no doubt. We'll have to see. There's going to be some stiff competition for the Rookie of the Year. Josh Berry, I think Josh Berry actually will surprise some people. I think he's got a chance to do sort of Jimmy Johnson things. Nobody was really talking about Jimmy Johnson. Then all of a sudden, Jimmy Johnson gets the cup, and all of a sudden, Jimmy Johnson, hey, he's pretty dang on good. Worked out well for him. So I'll throw Josh Berry in that mix as well. I think the Rookie of the Year is going to be super good. What is ROTY? That's Rookie of the Year. Shop. Rookie of the Year poll, I'd have Berry over Carson personally. That sounds like a good poll. 56% are going to end this poll, are happy. A rare moment of quality. More happy for Christmas that Daytona is closer than family, gifts, or the food. 0% are happy about the food. That was interesting. All right, so let's do the Rookie of the Year. Let's see here. All right. Got a poll question up. Who will win the Rookie of the Year? Josh Berry, Smith, Josephus, or other? Because you never know. There might be some other rookie that jumps in there to run for Rookie of the Year that we haven't seen yet. Bones with the super chat. There's a fist bump, Bones. Appreciate you, my friend. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sorry, Torino, Talladega, stupid spelling on this thing. Oh, don't worry about it, William. I get you. I'm terrible at spelling myself. Intentionally spelled crimmus wrong, though, just so you know. Yes, let's see. I'm working on half brain power. I feel you, man. I feel like I'm working at half strength, half brain power, half everything. It took me so long to make that episode. I was just coughing. So I finally left one of the coughs in there. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of cutting this thing for coughing. I'm just going to leave that one in there, and we're going to get through this thing. You pronounced William Byron really weird, BB. You said it sounded like Kyle Larson. Says, say Kyle. I mean, William Byron has to be in that mix. I mean, my Final Four every year is going to be, until he slows down, which he hasn't shown any signs of it, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson. I'll have to put William Byron and Christopher Bell in that mix now, too. I would also put Joey Logano. Like, my Final Four is always a final 6 or 8 of people that you always got to throw in there. Kevin Harvick's not there anymore. Martin Truex Jr. So, I mean, how many – or what are we up to now, 5 or 6? So, yeah. Those are the same group that I'm always going to pick my Final Four from every single season. I guess now possibly add Ryan Blaney to that list because he got it done. He showed the clutch team. Chase Elliott, that's another one you got to put in there and add to that Final Four list every single season. So yeah, it's always the same group you plug from. Kyle Busch, who am I going to leave out? Which fan base will I offend today? Let's see. Zane Smith could be the biggest surprise, I think, says Shy. Yeah, Zane Smith, a lot of people not talking about him, but I think he can definitely give Carson possibly a run for his money. Former Truck Series champion, so never sleep on a former champion. Christmas food has become a chore, the making of it, the eating of it, until you explode, says Shy. That's true. It's good, but says Shy. TJ Moore said, Merry Christmas, BB. How many cars do you think will be on the entry list for Daytona? Oh, that's a good question, TJ. I'm saying maybe 44 to 45. That's just me guessing. I haven't looked at anything. I haven't looked at a sheet or anything like that. But I'm betting a lot of teams try to get their extra car in this race here. Is Noah going to be running for Rookie of the Year? Says Shop. That's something I don't know if he'll even apply for it. But since it's a case by case basis, NASCAR said that a few years ago. Noah 100% could apply to run for Rookie of the Year again. So that's why I put other up there. Like I said, there's somebody that could jump in there that you don't know about. I don't know if he would do that or not. He might not want that press. You never know how these decisions are made. And you don't know that NASCAR would give it to him. So you never know, but he probably could reapply. We stopped with the cooking this year. Did Thanksgiving pickup order from Ruth Chris. Oh, man, that's fancy, say Kyle. And tomorrow is subs from Jersey Mike's. No dishes to be washed. I'm liking the Jersey Mike's there, my friend. I guess Publix was closed, so we'll cut you some slack there. But Jersey Mike's for sure. They got the Italian, the number 13 is really good at Jersey Mike's. They've got a good California club, I want to say, or something like that. And then the turkey. Those are my 3 go-tos for cold sandwiches, which I would imagine you're doing for Christmas there. The hot sandwiches, all of them are good. Joe Williams as Haley Deegan's crew chief was a good move, says Mar Barnum. For sure. I think that's going to be a good relationship. And hopefully she gets some good finishes this year and takes a little bit of the pressure off, stops the haters just a little bit, I should say. We had Publix earlier this week, so that's why LOL says, say Kyle. I got you, my friend. For those who don't know, Florida and Publix, the pub subs, are synonymous with each other. Ross is going to be in the mix for the championship. Says they're dead. Yeah, there you go. So I left out Ross Chastain. So, I mean, there's another one. Like I said, it's one of those things I have to really sit down and sort of break down everything I like to break down. But, yeah, I would definitely put Ross Chastain in the hunt for the Final Four as well. Certainly, especially the way he was up and down this year, but still had a good season. Same thing with Kyle Larson. He was up and down this year, had a good season. Same thing with Kyle Busch. He was up and down this year, had a good season. They still had strong runs despite multiple DNFs and things like that. Let's see. I'm going to go to Windsor, New York by plane this week to see family. Got to hit up Tim Hortons. Love those donuts. Says B. So yeah, Tim. I told B behind the scenes. I got to hit up a Tim Hortons one day eventually because everybody keeps talking about them, and I haven't had the Tim Hortons donuts. So I gotta go find some somewhere. We had we made a huge seafood meal for Christmas Eve. Mom, dad, and sister. Then tomorrow is a huge family deal. With way too much food, says Shaw. So there you go. This is one of those Christmases where it's going to get stretched for a long time. It's going to be like a long Christmas. It's going to be a lot of overeating. So I definitely understand that. I feel you for sure on that one. The Ruth Chris was honestly a great idea. Cost about what you'd spend on everything anyway. Super delicious with no cleanup. I think it'll be a new tradition in the home. Still had leftovers for days. Yeah, for sure. And you know, it's Ruth Chris, so it's always going to be like top quality. Like it's not, you don't have to worry about the quality of it. So that's another factor there too. So yeah, Ruth Chris, can't go wrong with that. We got one here called the Angus Barn. It's similar to Ruth Chris. I don't know if Angus Barn is a franchise yet, but Angus Barn is similar idea. A lot of people do that for the holidays as well. They do have good Chipotle steak wrap too. BB says Bumblebee. So okay, all right. I'll add that to the Tim Hortons list. I do like anything Chipotle or Southwest style typically. Who wins the Daytona 500? Says Dev Finch. I've been vocal about this. I'm picking Kyle Busch until he wins one. So until Kyle Busch wins one, he's going to be my pick to win the Daytona 500 because I feel like it's eventually going to happen. So that's going to be my Daytona 500 pick. But if I had to look at the actual numbers as to who's going to win, speaking of which, who's next on the list? Alex Bowman at 61 races. That's the next guy on the list of the winless streak. So let's see here. I don't even know if driver averages will have this up yet. But let's look at the Daytona. Oh, there you go. Bubba Wallace is going to be your best average finish at 10.5. Travis Pastrana, not even in the race, average finish. And that will forever be his average finish of 11.0. Ryan Blaney second, though, of drivers that are competing at 12.8. Zane Smith, 13.0. Chase Elliott, 13.8. Austin Hill, 14.0. Kevin Harvick, 14.4. Chandler Smith, 15.0. Alex Bowman, 15.3. Corey LaJoie, 15.5. Austin Cindric, 15.8. James Dennis is going to be 15.9. And Joey Logano at 16.0, followed by Chris Buescher at 16.4. So there you go. There are your average finishes at Daytona. So pick from those drivers or don't. Doesn't matter. It's a plate race. It's a super speedway. Pick whoever you want to. Bubba Wallace comes out hot and wins Daytona, says Shah. There's a good chance it happens, especially if the Toyotas line up. That's Eric Jones is actually my sleeper pick. So we're just going to throw it all out here now, I guess. Eric Jones is going to be my sleeper pick for Daytona because of the Toyota backing now with Legacy and all that. And he's a super good super speedway racer. Bubba Wallace, super good speedway racer. And Denny Hamlin. I could see all three of those guys lining up and going toward the front. So I think that's definitely something to look for. Skip the ads there. So let's see. Chris Buescher wins Daytona, says Mark Barnum. He's definitely he was up there. He was what? 16.4 average finish. So I definitely can't sleep on him. I think Brad Keselowski will finally win the 500, says B. That would be a great way to break the streak. That would be a great way for him to break the winless streak for sure. I had Brad K for the 500 this year. Finally breaks through. What a race for his first win and the new team owner role, says Say Kyle. So a lot of people picking bad Brad. I'm sure Vegas is liking that. So William Byron in the 500, says Steve. So there you go. The 24 DuPont car has a history of getting Daytona 500 wins. There is no doubt about that. Say Kyle, good minds think alike, says B. RJ, what's up, my friend? Good to see you on here. Bumblebee saying what's up to RJ. My pick, Martin Truex Jr. to win the Daytona 500, says Dev Finch. Martin Truex Jr. is another good one. He always sort of lays back and lets the thing play out, and then the last few laps, he tries to show up and steal the win. So he's definitely one I would keep an eye on for sure, no doubt about it. Hey, BB, I'm too busy today to listen. I will catch the replay later. Glad you're feeling better, bud. Merry Christmas to you. and all the burger fans. Appreciate you like, dislike. I am feeling a little bit better, and I appreciate you checking in on us. Hey Bumbles, says RJ, I guess who got a new NASCAR t-shirt? Oh, appreciate you. That's awesome, RJ. Glad you got the new NASCAR merch. Which NASCAR shirt did you get, if you don't mind us asking? I will freak out if William Byron wins the 500, says Say Kyle. I think it would surprise a lot of people. It wouldn't necessarily surprise me because it's a Hendrick car, and William Byron is good at just about. I don't think there's a track he's necessarily bad at, but I don't think it would surprise me, but I think it would surprise a lot of people. What would that be? RJ says won't be. Guess who's working on a joke book? Oh, there you go. RJ working on a joke book. Hopefully, you get that published. Also, RJ LOL says Bumblebee, Death Taxes and Harrison Burton wrecking in the 24 in the Daytona 500 LOL. So there you go. I got to look out for Harrison Burton. I'll tell you what, man. Harrison Burton is actually a good plate racer. So if he can avoid wrecking, and typically he's not the cause of the wreck at these super speedways. Typically, he's another long shot that I wouldn't be surprised if he won the race. And what a way for the Wood brothers, like the Wood brothers, to get their next win, which would be what is it, 200th? Would that be the 200th or 300th win for the Wood brothers? I think 300th maybe. Let's see. RJ Bumblebee, I got Walmart's NASCAR t-shirt. LOL, says RJ. So there you go. Got the Walmart. Rodney Collier, the 100th win for Wood Brothers. Okay, so it's 100th. I thought they had way more than that, but I knew it was a big milestone. 100th win. Everybody, let me know. I think KFB is going to take the 500. I'm with you on that one, Brian. That's who I'm picking until he wins it, because I just feel like it's going to happen. He's sort of got that Dale Earnhardt Sr. curse on it. Ironically, driving for RCR now. So I do think he'll get it done, but I thought Tony Stewart would get it done too, and Tony Stewart never got it done. So we'll have to see. RJ, did they come with checker training at Walmart? Should the Wood Brothers race in the Busch Series? I wouldn't have a problem with it. I think it would be cool. I've never had a problem with any of the teams racing in the Busch Series. Personally, as long as the Cup drivers don't do more than 5 or 6 races a year, which is pretty much what Earnhardt and Mark Martin did back in the day. They never did a ton of them. Let's see. Who's next on the list here of the winless streak? Bowman was at 61. Daniel Suarez up there as well. 56 races since his last win with the Trackhouse boys. So Suarez, another one on that list there. And that looks like the end of the list for motorsport.com. All right, going to hang around a little bit longer, see if you guys want to talk about anything else. B, I'm the only minority that thinks there should be a stretch of night races in the midsummer. Nah, you're not in the minority. Like all the summer races should be at night because it's so freaking hot. They bring such a great nostalgic vibe that I feel like NASCAR is missing now. Now, I'm with you on that one. There's so many reasons for the summer series to have night races. I think that would be a great idea. Bowman will be most improved driver from last year, says Jay Campbell. I hope so. Coming back from a back injury is just there's no way he was 100% last season. I think he's just a tough guy for getting in there and finishing it out the way he did. Same thing with Chase Elliott. There's no way his leg was 100% when he first came back either. Let's see. Mark Barnum, LOL thoughts on Harvick now working for Roger Penske. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me one way or the other. He's probably just taking a paycheck. So we'll have to see. I hadn't seen that story, but I mean, drivers once they retire, they move around. Feel like the writing is on the wall for Suarez. I don't see him there long term. Unfortunately, yeah, he's gonna. I don't know if the writing's on the wall, but it always feels like he's on the hot seat. He's gonna have to have another big season this year. I think to establish his role there. So we'll have to see how it plays out going forward. But he definitely needs to have a big season. Trackhouse will boot Suarez at the end of 2024. Hey, BB, realistic expectations for Spire? they might get one car in the playoffs, and I think the other cars will probably finish in the top 22. We'll have to see. I think they'll make a huge improvement. But that being said, it's hard to make a huge improvement and then immediately be a playoff contender when these other teams have been playoff contenders for a long period of time. But I think the gap from the front to the back is starting to tighten up. So you're going to see the days of big teams getting all four of their cars in. Those days are getting close to being over. We saw it last year, even though it was injuries and stuff. I wish someone would make the Okanichi Speedway for NASCAR 2003. There's a version of the track on Wreckfest. That would be pretty cool. Most important question: do you open presents Christmas Eve or Christmas morning? I was a Christmas morning person. That's I think my parents let me open one on Christmas Eve, and then the rest you open on Christmas morning. Hey, BB, as a late model guy, did you get a chance to check out Somerville Speedway? Was my hometown track growing up. I had amazing races. It sadly became condos in 2001. I never went to check that one out. To be totally fair, Shaw said, "Oh wait, you're a J. Never mind. No, I do Christmas. Let's see here. Hey, Merry Christmas, BB. Says Cal. Merry Christmas, Cal. Good to see you on here as always. I live about 5 minutes from Gateway Worldwide Technology, and this year, when it got pushed to evening because of the lightning delay, was awesome. These cars look beautiful under the lights, and racing was better. Yeah, I agree with you, especially for the summer type races. It's got to be good for ratings. Because it's in prime time, and just the heat itself is better for the fans. I've always been a fan of all the Summer Series races, as many of them as you can. Run them at nighttime. Shah says Happy Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah to you as well, Shah. My birthday is on Mother's Day weekend, aka May 11th in 2024, says RJ. So happy birthday to you on May 11th, my friend. Let's see, BD, what's your favorite change to the schedule for next year? I mean, adding Iowa is huge. So I think that's going to be the biggest one. We won't know exactly how this schedule plays out until we get a non-Olympic year. SRX announced a dirt track in Wisconsin as their fifth track. I'm guessing Eldora for the sixth track. That'll be pretty cool. I think both of those will be good picks there, Mark Barnum. And it'll be really good to see what the SRX does next season. So hopefully they can keep on building up their momentum. What do you tell a cat that's afraid of its own shadow? I don't know, RJ. You let us know down in the comments because I don't know about that one. Let's see here. Jimmy Johnson making a start next year too. I forget how many. I forget how long his winless streak is. So he should definitely be on that list as well. Apparently not as long as these other ones, though. But just to recap the list, Justin Haley of motorsport.com. Justin Haley, 105 races. Brad Keselowski, 98 races. Austin Cindric, 71 races. Chase Briscoe, 68 races. Alex Bowman, 61 races. Daniel Suarez, 56 races. And there you go. That is the list of the longest winless streaks right now going in the NASCAR Cup Series. Let's see here. RJ, if I had your B-Day, I would exclusively wear 511 tactical gear, says Seikal. Eggnog, yes or no, says Mark Barnum. Eggnog, yes, if it is spiced correctly. Jimmy hasn't won since Bristol spring of 2017. Says B, that's for sure. I just don't know how many races it is because he retired and he's run some off races here and there. I share my birthday with Tim Flock. So there you go, Tim Flock and RJ. That's an easy way to remember it. Just remember Tim Flock's birthday, and you will remember RJ's birthday. Eggnog, no. Eggnog and rum, possibly, says Shah. So, yeah, if you don't like eggnog, you can always get the a little bit of creamer, a little bit of Kahlua, a little bit of vodka, and then you got you a chocolate milk, chalky milk. So also known as a White Russian. Or if you don't like cream, you can just leave the cream out, and it's called a Black Russian. So there you go. There's your fun facts for the day. Let's see. B, if Tim Flock was still alive, I'd ask him why his co-driver was a monkey. Jocko Flacco. I share mine with Beyonce and Whitney Cummings, says Kyle. I share mine with Bruce Lee and Jimi Hendrix, I think. So I'm Bruce Lee and Jimi Hendrix are the two famous people I share a birthday with. 132 races since Jimmy Johnson's last win. So there you go, 132 for Jimmy Johnson. So he should actually be at the top of the list, even though he's not running full time. If I put vodka in eggnog, I'll be dancing. In my vodka in my eggnog, I'll be dancing. Says Jay Campbell. Let the dancing commence, Jay Campbell. That's what I say. BB, what would you do with Bruce Lee? Give him a crisp handshake if he was still with us. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't fight him like that. I'm not that crazy. So yeah, but he was definitely. I definitely watched a bunch of his movies once I found that out. So I was like, oh yeah, we're Bruce Lee fans now. Still, my favorite Bruce Lee stuff was the brisk commercial from back in the day, the brisk tea commercial, where he's getting beat up and he drinks a brisk tea and he snaps back to life and wins the fight or whatever. So what do you call a cat that's afraid of its own shadow? So yeah, they're waiting for the punchline there, RJ. Poll question is up. Who do you think will win the Rookie of the Year? 26 votes so far. Josh Berry, 69%. Zane Smith, 8%. Carson Josephus Hosevar, 15%. And other at 8%. So there you go. Heading to the in-laws. Have a good night, everyone, and Merry Christmas. Says Say Kyle. Yep, I think I'm about to jump off too, as the voice, as you just heard, is starting to fade. But we'll try to jump back on and do another one here before too long. So maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But that's going to be it for this one. I will check you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out, and it's good to be back.